Guess who's back? Back again. Mikey's back. Tell a friend. Hey everybody, here I'm with another video for you guys today. And today we're going to be doing episode 3 of the Brack Chat podcast. So if you're new to it, please stay tuned and listen. Or if you're a returning listener, I appreciate it. And we'll be getting into it shortly. But let me just start by saying, if you like this video or any other videos on my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. You know, all that good stuff. Hit the bell notification, etc., etc. And we'll be getting down to it right after my intro coming in now. Alright everybody, here we are with episode 3 of the Brack Chat podcast. And I've been noticing, I was expecting it to kind of get off to a slow start. I wasn't expecting huge numbers on this podcast, but I'm going to continue to do it, and because I've been getting some good feedback on it, and hopefully things continue to grow and build from there. Because you have to start, you always have to start at the bottom when you're doing something new, or on whether it's YouTube or life in general. And let me also say that let me apologize for my voice, or if you hear any sniffles or coughing or anything. I mean, I'll try to edit it out because you guys probably don't want to listen to it, but I am feeling a little under the weather today, so that is a little bit of a bummer on my end, so just bear with me. And then in an unrelated to Lego news, let me just say that I had a personal tragedy over the Thanksgiving holiday, which this video is Monday after Thanksgiving. We actually had to put down one of our dogs. Leonard was his name. You probably have seen him in some of my videos, but he suffered from seizures, and he was on all kinds of medications. And to make a long story short, on this past Friday morning at 5 a.m., I woke up to one of his siblings barking, and so I went to check on them, and he was in the midst of a seizure, and he never came out of it, and we ended up having to put him down, unfortunately. So that was very devastating news for me personally and for my family. I mean, I know it seems like I have a lot of dogs, and as you've seen them, wagging their tails and running around in the videos, but he was the one that was probably I was the closest with, so that's been a little bit hard for me personally, but all we can do is move on and keep on keeping on, and just know that he's better off now. I didn't like seeing him suffering like he was on Friday morning. So, I appreciate any sympathies or condolences or anything like that I might receive in the comment section or what have you. Because it has been a rough weekend for me, and then and then I wake up today. Well, actually, I felt it last night with a little bit of a cold coming on, so it's like, you know how it goes. When it rains, it pours, I guess. But enough with the sadness and sorrows. Let's get on to the topics for today's podcast. And we'll start off with my last week's videos. I released 2 videos on the Lord of the Rings display, and like my Dragon Knights faction display. So if you haven't checked those out, please go and check those out, or and give me some feedback and thoughts and feelings there. And I gotta say that one of my most loyal followers has given me an idea about doing some minifigure videos, because as some of you know, I've had to remove most of my good minifigures from my display. So when I go around filming everything, you're not going to see a lot of my good figs. So I might do some minifigure videos in the near future to help show you guys what I do have, because I feel bad for them right now. They're just kind of all off in buckets and hidden away, and and they're really my pride and joy minifigures, and they don't even get to live in the wonderful land that I've created. It's being populated by the deplorables, for lack of a better term. But so look forward to that coming sometime in the near future. Some videos on that. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed those videos, and I got some good comments on the Lord of the Rings one, especially. So, but just know there will be more updates to those and everything as things progress. And we haven't even gotten into, I haven't done any videos on the Harry Potter area in my display, which I don't know if we have any Harry Potter fans in my audience, but that stuff will be coming in the future as well, probably around the first of the year. And then so that is all we have with that topic. So now let's move on to the meat and potatoes of today's podcast, and that is the big Lego acquisition of Bricklink. Yes, this was inevitably going to be the news for the general point of today's video, because it is such a big deal. If you guys are unaware, Bricklink is a valuable source for buying and selling new and used Lego parts, and it's a good way to keep money flowing for this hobby. That's kind of my main means for buying sets and things and minifigures is through Bricklink, because I am a Bricklink seller as well as a Bricklink buyer. So it's a pretty major situation that has developed, and it could go one of three ways. Very negatively for us Lego fans, very positively, or kind of just stay the same. And let's start with the negatives. The negatives are that it's anytime a major corporation like Lego, a $1 billion corporation, buys up a smaller corporation, there's going to be some massive changes that take place. Even though when it all happens, everything's smile and happy, and everything's going to be just fine, no major changes, blah, blah, blah. In the end, major changes always do happen. And it's trying to predict what changes could happen and how it could affect us Lego fans is the major concern. Because I probably buy more stuff on Bricklink nowadays than I do through Lego themselves, just because when I get my, not monthly, but, quarterly, Lego catalogs, like I'm sure many of you do, I look through it, and if I'm honest, there are probably 5 sets max that I go, hey, I wish I could have that, or I wouldn't mind having that, or maybe someday I'll try to acquire that one on clearance, or whatever have you. But typically, for me, the stuff that really draws me in, or I say I want that, is either retired sets from days gone by, or things that I would say, let me try to build myself, whether it's a mock or modify something that is existing. I'm not really interested or into stock sets so much anymore. I think it's, as Lego fans, it's kind of how we start. You start out by buying the stock things, and then once you've acquired a fair amount of it, then you see that people are doing a lot of modifications and mocks, and so you gradually grow into that. And Bricklink is far and away the best source to go about getting the parts that you need for that. And so anything that could potentially damage that should be very alarming for us Lego fans. So that is a major concern of mine as just a straight up Lego fan, a mock builder. It's like if Lego goes and starts monkeying around with that, like it's gonna have a seriously negative effect on the community. But then as a Bricklink seller, because typically what I do is that we find sets on clearance that I really don't have much interest in, but if I can find good deals on Lego sets at Walmart or any store you can think of, it doesn't matter what it is, we immediately buy it for our store, because if we get it on a 50% markdown, then you go and you part it out and you sell it. Well, eventually you're going to get money back from all that stuff. And so I turn Lego deals that I don't have any interest in, and then I go turn around and I use that money to buy things, whether it's on Bricklink or from Lego themselves, and buy stuff that I do want, that I end up bringing to my channel and to my display that you guys see. So it's very alarming for me in that regard. So because if you go and affect that, because Lego is an expensive hobby, as you guys all know, so you have to have a way to kind of keep the cash flow flowing with it. And this is the way that we have found that you keep money coming in, and then you can go and you can buy things, and you just keep this ball rolling. Now, I'm not going to kid you, it's a lot of work for very little money, and you're going to have to do some kind of startup capital to begin with. You can't just go in with $20 and think you're going to turn it into a $100 set. That's not how it works. But I want to say, when we started our Bricklink store, we put around $500 into it initially, and we've had to keep putting more of our personal money into it. But it's easier to find the markdown clearance sets at your local stores. Try to fund it different ways. I mean, that's the best way that we found. A couple of $100 of our personal money into it every year, and then that in turn turns into money that we buy the other sets with, the other things that we want to enjoy. So it's that's basically what we use it for. It's not. Some people try to actually make a living off of it. That seems difficult to me. I've crunched the numbers, and it just doesn't seem like it's all that feasible or all that possible. But as a way to supplement your Lego money, to keep money coming and going and flowing in order to buy the things that you want, it's viable in that regard. And that's my recommendation with it anyways. So the potential of Lego affecting that is very worrisome on a personal level. But I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see how it goes. But I will say this, that Lego already, when they first bought Bricklink, they said that they weren't going to make any changes to it. No immediate changes were coming. But then they contradicted themselves by automatically getting rid of all, I think it was all brick arms pieces that were custom-made pieces that were not technically made by Lego. And I don't know if they got rid of all custom pieces or if it was just brick arm pieces. But there you go. There is a change that they've already made after they already said they weren't making a change. So that just proves my point that they can say one thing but then turn around and make a major change. And as Lego fans, there's really nothing we can do about it. We just have to accept that. Now, for me, that's not a huge deal. I've always kind of felt that the custom parts were kind of a slippery slope anyways, because if you're gonna let brick arms pieces in, or all these custom pieces that are not actual made by Lego, and I'm not just talking about custom printed pieces, I'm talking about actually 3D printed pieces from somewhere else. To me, that's a thin line between allowing those in and letting Leppen pieces in, or Enlighten pieces, or Mega Blocks even. Like, where's the fundamental difference there? It seems that's a thin line. Some people might not agree with me there, but that's just my personal feeling on that. But I will say that we did the Freddy Krueger house, and we've thought about selling that on Bricklink, and we had some custom parts in there, like Freddy, for example. He's all printed on Lego pieces, but he is a custom printed minifigure. And then we had the legs for the children. We ended up getting custom made parts for those, strictly because the price for the miniature white legs was incredibly expensive at the time, which it's gone down now, but it was ridiculously expensive because they were a rare piece. So if we wanted to sell that mock on Bricklink, I don't know that we could do it anymore. I mean, maybe we could, but it would definitely be something that we'd have to look into. I'm not saying that we are going to, but we've been asked about it a couple of times, which Mrs. Mikey J Productions did make instructions for it at one point, but I don't think we ever actually got them printed out. But my point in all this is that that's how it could affect that mock that we made as Lego fans. And there's a lot of people that make mocks like that, so the ripple effect could be a lot larger than what people are currently aware of there. So that's another one of the negative things. And then the biggest negative that could come from it is that Lego just basically cuts all of us small sellers out and uses Bricklink as a way to sell their back catalog of parts, and they set the price. I mean, because if they wanted to come in and just start selling not just the current parts that they make, but the older parts. I mean, they could go through and buy up all of us smaller sellers because they have the means and the income to do so, and then they could actually set the market value on everything and drive prices through the roof, which again would be a negative for us Lego fans. Because I mean, some of these parts, I mean, they're only a penny or a couple of pennies a piece, but if Lego decided to really go for broke on it and buy everybody up, a piece that going for a penny right now on Bricklink, Lego could set the price at 20 cents, and that might not seem like much, but if you need a couple hundred of them, now you're talking a big change in money there. And so that's definitely the biggest concern. Now, I would hope they wouldn't do that, but again, now that they own it, it's up to them what they are going to do and not do, and we're just kind of left to deal with it. But I think Lego knows that if they started to do something like that, most sellers would jump ship to Brick Owl, which, if you guys are unaware, it's another site very much like Bricklink, basically the same thing, but it's not as popular. So that's what a lot of people would do, because at the end of the day, we still own our own inventories right now. Lego doesn't own our parts. They might own the site, but they don't own our parts. And if they start coming through and trying to buy up everybody's parts, people will just shut down their stores and move to Brick Owl. So, But then, I guess who's to stop Lego from going and buying Brick Owl? I mean, but it could turn into this little, chasing all the sellers around, and and then somebody will start up a new one, and so hopefully it doesn't come to that, but that's definitely a concern. Well, now let's talk about the positives that could come out of this. And the positives are what Lego themselves said when they acquired it, and that is they're using it as a way to get in touch with more of the adult AFOL Lego community, and using it as a way to hopefully help foster and enrich the adult Lego community, because I've been a firm believer in this for a while, and that is the adult Lego community is been undervalued by Lego for far too long. And as times change, they still are relevant with kids. I'm not going to say they're not, but while the kid market is always going to be larger than the adult market just by sheer volume of children, and like with the holidays coming up, there's going to be people that go into their local store and they're getting a new gift for little Johnny, and they don't know what they want. They go down the Lego aisle and they pick one off the shelf, and there you go, little Johnny, there's your Christmas present from Grandma. The adult community can't compete with that market. That's a huge market. But having said that, we're not this small little 5% of Lego's business either. I have no numbers in front of me. I've heard other people do the research, but they tend to make it seem like us adult Lego fans are like I said, like 5% of the market, and I don't think that is anywhere near the case. And just this YouTube controversy with Copa has proven that to me. It's that I would say that the Lego market for people, say 18 and up, is probably around, I'd venture to say somewhere around 15 to 20% of their market. And then the teen market from like 13 to 17 is probably another 15 to 20%. So when you combine those two markets, it's almost as large as the kids market with Grandma buying presents for little Johnny. Like, it's a viable market that Lego has not developed enough resources and not paid as much attention to. And that's what they're claiming that this Bricklink acquisition is all about, because where are most of us adult Lego fans buying our parts? We're buying them on Bricklink because we know that it's just a waste of time and a waste of money to try to get it through Lego themselves, because they overprice things. Why am I going to buy a brick through Lego for 7 cents when I can buy the same one on Bricklink for 1 cent? It doesn't make any sense. So and they had this this all started back, there was a Lego and Bricklink did a special collaboration a few months back, and some Bricklink designers had their mocks get turned into Lego sets that were produced by Lego but sold on Bricklink exclusively. Which, on a side note, we almost entered our Freddy house in that, but because of the subject matter of it, we declined on doing that. But nevertheless, that was the first time Lego had ever opened the lines of communication to Bricklink at all. And we think, and it seems very obvious that opening those lines of communication is what eventually turned into this acquisition, because they probably did a lot better on that mock set than they thought that they would have. And so they're finally starting to see that the adult Lego community is a very viable market, and they need to market things to them and for them more than they have been. And this could be a good way of doing that, and as in more of these mocks and helping build up these great builders, and help give people the parts that they need to make the things that they need to make. So, and that's what Lego says that they're in this for, and hopefully they are correct in that. Hopefully they are standing by their word, but again, time will tell there. And then the neutral aspect will be if nothing really changes much at all, which to me that's almost a positive. If Lego just bought it and kind of took a step back and put their hands in the air and say, all right, now we're going to be hands off of this, we're going to be watching it, we're going to be regulating it, but we're not really changing how things are going on there, that would be fine as well. Which they have, that's, again, they've said that that's what their plan is. But, again, we shall see there. And so we're just going to have to keep our eyes open, keep our ears open, and see how this all plays out. But I wouldn't be lying if I didn't say I was concerned. And considering how the YouTube changes have come through, and then you add Bricklink changes possibly coming to fruition, it's like, okay, so what's going on here? I'm just a little Lego fan with my little YouTube channel, and here you guys are kind of throwing a monkey wrench into everything that we do around here, and it just seems a little bit. It feels a little greedy. It feels a little dirty, because it's like at the end of the day, we're still buying Lego parts, and we're still hoping to advertise and support your guys' company. So help us, throw us a bone and leave us alone, I guess. Because I can't imagine how many people have bought Lego minifigures or pieces or sets based upon some of my videos, let alone a huge YouTuber like Jang Bricks or somebody like that. Like, we're helping to create the demand for your guys' product. So, anyways, so I think that's where I'm gonna leave it there. And it was a nice little chat with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me just reiterate, if you like this video or any other videos on my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. And again, I'll have a couple of more videos coming out on Friday and Saturday of this week, so stay tuned for those. And I'll be seeing you guys all later. Take care, everybody.